What's going on, guys? This is LSU Recruiting HQ back with another episode. I'm your host, Michael Sedetol. Man, we got a lot to cover today. We got basketball news, breaking news. Efton Reid, five-star center out of IMG Academy, commits to the Tigers this week. We got football recruiting starting to heat up. June is getting so close, and we are starting to things up and see all these camps start to take off. We got a lot to talk about with that, and we got baseball seasons coming to a close. Had a big series win this past weekend, taking on Alabama this weekend, looking to finish the season off right and with some momentum heading into the SEC tournament. Make sure if you guys like the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on all platforms now. Make sure you guys like it. Thank you. Alright, guys, first thing we're going to dive into, obviously, the big news coming this week. Five-star center out of IMG Academy, Efton Reid, commits to LSU. And once again, we're seeing it from Will Wade working his wonders during this offseason. You know, everybody's looking at Javonte Smart, Cam Thomas, Trendon Walford, Darius Days all being gone, and where are they going to get players from? Well, guys, if you haven't been paying attention, LSU has been killing it in the transfer portal. They get the kid out of Illinois, another one from Missouri, and then Tari from Cincinnati, all elite type players. And then you bring in this kid and Alex Fudge and a lot of other more high school guys. So I mean, this team's looking like they're not taking any steps back anytime soon. Now they've got depth. I mean, the starting rotation last year was great, and then it looks like, I mean, this is going to be an even better team because of the size and the defense, and this is what Will Wade wants. You know, when Nas and Bigby Williams were here, you know, he preached rebounding and defense and, you know, shot blockers, you know, and I think they're starting to get back to that. You know, he missed out on the center last year, the kid that went to Memphis, and he made up for it this year because this Efton Reid, he's 6'11", 225, and every scouting report I'm reading is he is a developed post scorer also. So he's not just tall, he's not just big, he doesn't just play defense. They say he can put the ball in the basket as well, which could be a big help to this team. And like I said, this LSU basketball team, no matter what you say, Will Wade is putting a team on the floor every year that's going to compete in the SEC, and it looks like it's just going to be another one of those years for them. All right, next thing, obviously, got to talk about football while we're here. Everybody knows by now, TJ Finley out the door at LSU, decided he's going to enter the transfer portal. What does that mean? To me, not very much. I mean, it was looking pretty clear during the spring and during the spring game, if you watched it, that Miles and Max are the two guys in the running for the job, and TJ was slightly behind them. But you could see it was very obvious to notice, and I like TJ, and he's a great player and he's going to do wonderful things. But as of the time and place for him, LSU's probably not the best place for him right now. That being said, LSU recruiting starting to heat up. Like I said, camps and everything starting in June. That's going to start heating up soon. We got a lot of guys getting on campus this year or this summer. As soon as things open up, we have multiple 5 stars, guys like that. We have guys who, and I got a feeling this June, July, August period, you're going to see guys committing left and right to different schools. They're going to be finally getting on campus for, you know, a lot of these kids know where they want to go, but they don't, like, they can't make that decision without seeing the campus and, you know, meeting the coaches and stuff like that. But a lot of these kids really got a good feel of where they want to go already, and I think you're going to see a lot of that with LSU. They have double-digit guys signed right now, and that number is just going to grow larger and larger as we go through these camps in June and July. Now, I was surprised yesterday. Steve Whitfall from 24/7 Sports released yesterday that Arch Manning, all the camps that he was going to be attending where he was visiting, LSU wasn't on the list. So that's a little surprising. But then again, the home state team, most likely they're going to get him on campus eventually, no matter what. So let's talk about some 5 stars that you guys need to keep your eyes out for. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Walter Nolan out of Tennessee, 5-star defensive tackle. LSU has been hot on his trail since his recruitment began, and they have just continued to stay on him this whole time throughout this period. And look for him to be on campus this summer as well. And you're talking about a guy who's getting chased down by Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama, Clemson, teams like that. So LSU's got a lot of work to do right now, but they are at his top at the top of his list right now, and it's easy to see why. Coach O has that defensive line background. He's a heck of a guy. So he builds these relationships with people in that position, and you can tell it's starting to come off, and it's starting to look good for the Tigers in there coming out of Tennessee. Walter Nolan, 5-star defensive tackle. Another 5-star you got to keep your eyes out now is Shamar Stewart out of Florida, Miami area. Kid is, oh my goodness. So you talk about athlete. I mean, he's like 6'6", 230, 240, and he is just built, and he is just ready to play college football, and you can just see he has all the makings. Another one where if you go look on 24/7, there's already multiple crystal balls in for LSU. LSU really got in there early and has stayed front right there at the top of his list. But now you got teams like Alabama and Clemson really pushing hard for this kid, and my hometown Miami obviously as well is going to be a factor in that too. But Shamar Stewart, if he had to make a decision today, I think it's LSU all day. And so you're looking at that. If LSU can continue to keep the momentum with that, and work these two guys, I mean, adding what you're bringing in from in-state as far as position needs and talent, I mean, you're looking at this team as the number one team in our number one class in the country, and it's not even close at that point. But we've seen this before. We've seen guys like Jermaine Burton, Raheem Jarrett, JoJo Early, and these guys start off hot and they're all LSU all the time. They even commit, and then that waiting hour comes and those final pitches come in from other schools, and then they change their minds. So this is one thing I want to see from LSU recruiting coming up. I want to see Coach O start closing these out-of-state guys, man, these big-time recruits. These guys that are 5 stars or high 4 stars that are difference makers in programs. I want to see him start closing the deal on these guys because, man, these in-state kids are good and they're great and they're going to make us an elite program for a long time to come. But you're talking about some of these dudes are program-changing players, like top 5 picks in the draft type players, and they can just be a force on offense or defensive side of the ball. So that's one thing I want to see from Coach O this year, man. I want to see him finish the deal and grab Stewart. I want to see him grab Walter Nolan. I want to see him grab the linebacker from Texas who's been leaning towards A&M. I think Coach O is going to be able to finish them off, and I think LSU is going to land the number one class in the country this year, and everybody's going to be chasing them from behind. Like right now, I believe they're second behind Ohio State, but I believe in the next coming months, in June, July, once guys start getting on the campus and they start going through these camps, you're going to see a lot of guys coming to LSU, and it's going to be fun to see, and I can't wait to watch it. All right, baby. Final topic: LSU baseball hosting Alabama this weekend. And man, whoever made the schedule for LSU this year, thank you. Because boy, did we need this final 3-game series stretch. Because my goodness, the beginning of this year was so tough. I mean, you're starting Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, all these guys all in a row. And man, it just beat down LSU and it beat down the fans. And so, what in the world is going to happen now? So, LSU is sitting at 11th in the SEC. Looks like they're going to be able to make the SEC tournament unless something drastically changes. But what does it mean for their postseason stakes? Honestly, personally, it means they have to win these next 2 series against Alabama and A&M. They already did a good job beating Auburn, and I do believe they have to sweep one of these teams to prove that they're they're better than them as far as the rankings in the SEC is. They need to go out there and they need to sweep and prove that they're much better than the teams that they're playing right now. And then they carry that momentum into Hoover, and then Hoover, you never know what happens with LSU. They're always seem to get it clicking in Hoover, and that's always a good thing. And to get hot at that time of the year. Now we're not talking. I don't think personally LSU is going to get to 500, and the SEC play is almost impossible right now. I think they'd almost have to win out. So it's probably not likely that's going to happen. But if they can get to that 14 win mark, that's the number that I'm shooting for. As if I'm an LSU fan, is 14 wins is going to get me into the NCAA tournament and get me sent to some regional, and then you look at LSU. I mean, you have Marceau and Labus, and man, those two guys can win you a game against anybody in the country. I think if they pitch good, so you will have to take that into account when you're playing LSU. And then these freshman bats, man, they're starting to come alive. Freshman Trey Morgan with another SEC Freshman Player of the Week this week, his second of the year. Him and Dylan Cruz are right on each other's tails for SEC Freshman of the Year, as long as with the Enrique kid from Vanderbilt, who's hitting over 250 or 350. So fast leadoff guy. They're in all in competition for that. But it looks like right now I'd say Trey Morgan has the edge over both of them. Probably put Dylan Cruz second and then Enrique third. But more rumors. I'm hearing them every single day. Paul Mainieri retiring at the end of the year and what that means for LSU baseball. And if we're being honest, I just think it's time, guys. I have no problem with Paul Mainieri. I really haven't had too much to complain about since he's been here. There's been a couple things here and there that just get under your skin that he does. But as far as putting a ball club together and managing this team, he has done a tremendous job. He's one of the best coaches in the country. But I think now is the right time. I think LSU has a young team. I think it's time to get a new face in there. I think it's time to mutually part ways with Paul Mainieri and him retire or do whatever he's got to do, and him go out not on top, but like can say he went out on his own. Like I don't want it to come to the point that Les Miles came from. That 2015 team in LSU football after the A&M game, they carried him off the field, all that. That should have been Les Miles' last game. No ifs, ands, or buts. You send him off the right way. No hard feelings. We just want to move in a different direction. That's kind of how I'm feeling with LSU baseball. This team is too young, too talented, and you bring in one of the top tier guys. I mean, the names I'm hearing for the LSU baseball coach position, the rumors that are flying around. These guys are like national champions, like coaches in our same conference. Like the guy from Tennessee, his name has been thrown around. You obviously have the guy from Florida, Kevin Sullivan, who's won a national championship, who's proven everything he needs to prove at Florida. You're hearing names like that. So, I mean, who's to say that Scott Woodward doesn't make another splash hire and get one of these guys to come into Baton Rouge and turn this baseball back into the powerhouse that us fans deserve? And I see it happening right after the season ends. I feel like I have a good feeling that Paul Mainieri is out the door. Just what I've been hearing around and just different articles you read, it all just sounds like it's just time to mutually part ways with Paul, and I believe that's what's going to happen. But he can definitely finish this year off right. I expect him to win the series against Alabama tonight. They're taking on Louisiana Tech. That's a top 30 RPI team. So you looking at win against La Tech, and you win 2 out of 3 Alabama, win 2 out of 3 against A&M, and you're sitting pretty looking at the postseason going into Hoover, and then everything you do at Hoover is just bonus extra after that. So that pretty much is all I got to say about baseball. Hopefully they can get it right. Hopefully we can finish the year off strong, and we can move on to next year, and this young talented team can just keep getting better and better. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode, man. If you like today's video, man, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and drop your comments. Let me know what's going on in your life, and let me know how y'all like the video and everything. And make sure you're following on Twitter if you're not already. We got a new Instagram page. Make sure you check that out. We're gonna be posting all the commitment posts that I have on Instagram, as well as starting this TikTok stuff. We're gonna get into that. So man, if you're not already, LSU Recruiting HQ, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, check it out, guys. Thank you guys for watching today.